in all the experiences that I've seen, you're going to have communities and best friends that don't always tell each other the truth, you know, and that hamper the lies a little. But I've seen very close friends and acquaintances within the church community, even in Nashville with the Southern Baptists we see this, but with the Mormon community too, that they're not altogether honest with each other about everything.
No, they're not at all honest about things.
It's very
they kind of live in a utopia where, I don't know if you've heard of the Zion Curtain.
No.
The Zion Bubble, the Zion Curtain around Utah, where they generally LDS Mormons walk around with, you know, blinders on, that they only see one thing and they don't see the rest of the world, and they don't see really how they're perceived. For instance, I can give you a kind of a funny thing. I just barely got out of the Mormon church. I had to actually officially write them a letter and jump through hoops to say, hey, I'm not Mormon, I haven't gone to church for 20 years, take me off your list. And I'll tell you why I had to do it. This is where these people I perceive them as cultish, but cultish and kind of annoying, where they perceive themselves as being nice and trying to, you know, bring someone else in their church. Mormons, I came home one day with my wife from dinner. We were at Rio Grande, Quebec, Salt Lake, eat there. It's a great little Mexican restaurant. And had a couple margaritas, and we come walking in, and we're taking out a driveway, and there's two guys in a suit sitting at my front door, and I'm like, okay. It's kind of weird, thinking, is there a constable or something to serve me papers? No, it was a Mormon bishop welcoming me to the neighborhood, which I thought was ironic because I'd lived there for 5 years. So it was very nice to him. Told, not really interested. My wife, has Buddhist values. I'm an atheist, so don't come by. Well, the next weekend, I got up with my daughter about 9 o'clock in the morning. We were eating cereal on the couch, watching cartoons together, and get this knock on the door, and missionaries come to the door. And they're giving her coloring books, little kid-oriented coloring books, to help indoctrinate her into the Mormon church. It's really nice of them. Said, please don't come back, please go away. Next Saturday, same thing happened. We were up about 9, and they came very early. About 9 o'clock in the morning, they came in and do it. So finally, I got pissed off, wrote them a letter, said, hey, I don't want to be Mormon, don't consider my kids Mormon, anything like that. They sent me back a letter saying that, that they respect my decision, but it's going to take so many days to do it, and I have to run through so many hoops, I have to do an interview with the bishop, all these things. So they come off as like, they think that they're trying to be nice and trying to save you, where it comes off to me as annoying, just go away, get the fuck out of my life. And this is, probably in the neighborhood that's the least amount of Mormon, do you know the Blue Boutiques in Salt Lake City are? The Sugar House store. Yeah. We live right by there in that Sugar House neighborhood, and it's not very Mormon at all. It's actually, I think, the most probably culturally diverse area of Salt Lake City. So it's kind of, how they come off as nice, and they don't see that they're really fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's borderline disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's cultish.
Well, okay, what do you mean by cultish? How do you term cultish? I mean,
you think
cultish is Charles Manson. Cultish is polygamous on the southern.
Anything in a cult is like, you talk about their leaders are never questioned. They try to, basically try to surround, like Mormons. Yes, if you go back to Salt Lake and ask a lot of Mormons how many non-Mormon friends they have, they're like, oh, I know one guy at work or something like that. They try to keep closed off. They try to indoctrinate you. They try to push you to believe the way that they do. So it's kind of almost cultish to me that they don't, like for instance, trying to get out. In most churches, my wife, her family was Baptist. If you don't want to be Baptist anymore, what do? You stop going to church and you're not Baptist anymore, now you're Protestant. Whereas Mormons consider you Mormon even if you haven't been to church in 25 years. I think the last time I went to church was like 14. So it's been almost 20 years since, I've been a few times for, funerals, things like that, but actually going to church, and making my parents happy was about 14 years old. So that to me is kind of disturbing when they're like, after 20 years of not going, they still consider me part of their religion.
Yeah, but it's as if you weren't a person. You're sort of like, and I might be wrong, but you were a number. You were this commodity. You were like, okay, look, wow, we have a lost sheep, and we got to go find them and bring them back, and we got to, any of the other wild sheep that he's associated with, we got to bring them back too. And
yeah, they really do feel that way. But I still think that's kind of cultish. It's like, well, what if I was if I started going to the Catholic Church today and just going every week, Mormons would still consider me a Mormon.
Huh.
Even though I'm attending a Catholic church. So to me that's just kind of disturbing that they don't ever just, you know, let things be.
How'd you get involved in the sex industry?
My wife. I was actually a computer programmer in San Francisco. That's where we started, and we programmed the first website. My wife, I actually met her through my sister who worked at the store at Blue Boutique in Salt Lake City 15 years ago. And so I one day said, hey, really interested in that girl.